All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. Something came up on my feed that I've never heard any of us talking about, and it's called Michael Jordan GOAT Legacy documentary. Now, this came out about a month ago, and it's by a channel called Sport X. Never heard of that channel before, but this video got 331,000 views, so apparently I missed out on this one. I'm wondering how many of you guys missed out on it too, so that'll be a good idea if we check it out together. As always, I'm going to leave the link to the original video down below, so if you guys want to check that out, go right ahead. It's in the description box down below. And everybody else, please leave this video a like. This one's a little on the longer end, so you might want to grab a drink like I have right here, and maybe a snack, which I won't be doing because then you'd hear nothing but crunching sounds. But if I were you guys, I totally would. All right, let's do this.
He blew the layup. The rebound is off. They get it to Jordan. Here's Trump. 3-on-3. Jordan and deep. Jordan all the way. Score!
Nice sound effects so far.
Jordan past Petrovic.
Yep. So what is it, everybody? Is it Bulls versus Blazers? That's what the majority of the votes were. Is that move from in the game Bulls versus Blazers? I also had a vote for Lakers versus Celtics, and I think that was it. But yeah, this one.
Jordan past Petrovic.
And if we don't get to the bottom of it, I might have to bust out an emulator or something and play through those games. Maybe record it for science.
Oh, yes. Yes. You can't believe it.
I love that play.
What Jordan has done, the blueprint that he has laid is incredible, and it's amazing.
Here it is again.
Gotcha, Lanebeer. Gotcha, Ewing. Gotcha, Brian Russell. Gotcha, Elo. Russell again, poor guy.
What a defensive play by Michael Jordan.
Who did he block there? I love that block.
Michael Jordan is my GOAT. I play basketball because of Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir, me too.
Listen, Michael's the best I've ever seen.
Maybe the top player of all time. I mean, I hold him in that kind of regard.
That's
one of
Stockton.
the greatest players that ever played the game.
You know, growing up in the 90s, Michael Jordan
will always be the GOAT. Always. I don't care who comes along.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah, Dirk said he was sad he didn't get to play against Michael Jordan too often, and it was in his later years.
Born on February 17th, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. But it was in Wilmington, North Carolina, where he honed the skills that would one day make him a basketball icon.
Ahead to Scotty. Had to run out, catch it, now throws it back to Michael. Caught it with one hand from 50.
Yep.
His early life in a competitive family environment laid the foundation for his relentless work ethic.
You know, my competitive nature went right into the pros. Kevin used to take practices and put me in the starting five. And he'd make it a competitive thing where the losing team have to run. So now I'm on the winning team, and halfway in the game, halfway in the situation, he would switch me to the losing team. And by 9 times out of 10, the second team would come back and win no matter what he did.
Yep.
The story of Jordan being cut from his high school.
How do you become great? That's one hell of a way. Stack the decks against you, not in your favor. Stack them against you and see if you can overcome.
Team as a sophomore often serves as the first chapter in the legend of his career.
Got cut from the varsity team. I mean, this is a sad story.
It sounds sad, but it's true.
It had to happen, man. He needed it.
Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation.
Oh, I love this.
Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life.
This rejection fueled his determination, leading to a summer of intense training that would see him not only make the team the following year, but also star in it.
In the 10th grade, he made the team, played JVs, and then his junior, senior year, he played on the varsity team, and And as I say, the rest is history.
I've failed over and over and over again in my life.
And that is why I succeed.
And that is why I succeed.
I love it. I love
Showcasing early signs of his trademark competitive spirit and dedication to improvement. When Michael Jordan was selected
the sound effects, guys. It's like he just lit something on fire.
The prestigious McDonald's All-American Game in 1981. It was a clear sign that a star was on the rise. This event, held annually to showcase the best high school basketball talent.
I'm sorry, it's just that the volume's loud in my headphones, so these sound effects are really coming in loud. All right, I'll stop laughing at it, I promise.
Nation was the perfect stage for Jordan to display his burgeoning skills and competitive spirit.
I think for me at that time, it was very helpful for my confidence to play against players who were, the best in, my level all over the world.
As he worked so hard in practice every single day.
As a senior in high school, he played in the McDonald's Classic, the nation's premier schoolboy all-star game.
Oh, nice footage. Is the footage out for this? For the McDonald's all-star game?
Responded with some dazzling moves.
Reflecting on the game, it's clear that Michael Jordan was not just another high school basketball player. He was a young man on a mission, driven by an insatiable desire to be the best. That game was a glimpse into the future, a preview of the greatness that was to come. Every big college basketball program wanted him.
Michael Jordan was one of the finest basketball players, obviously at Laney High School, and during the senior year, he was rated the #1 player in the nation, so he was a pretty good ball player.
Jordan made a choice that would shape not just his career, but the future of college basketball. He decided on the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, drawn to its rich basketball history and the opportunity to play under the legendary coach Dean Smith.
Yep, baby blue.
Jordan's college career at North Carolina under coach Dean Smith was pivotal.
A freshman from Wilmington, North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan.
When Michael Jordan stepped onto the campus of the University of North Carolina, he was already a remarkable talent. But by the time he left, he had transformed into something even more extraordinary.
Wow, is he up there?
College was where Jordan's skills, mindset, and understanding of basketball deepened.
I just saw him on a Sunday afternoon and I thought, oh my gosh, this may be the best 6'4" high school player I've ever seen. He was just gifted, but he had a desire that was different from everybody else. He told me he wanted to be the best player ever at North Carolina. And I said, well, you've got to work harder than you did in high school. And he said, I worked as hard as everybody else. I said, excuse me. I thought you told me you wanted to be the best.
He worked.
Yeah, I love that. I love that by Coach, by the way. I worked just as hard as everybody else. That's not good enough if you want to be the best. You got to outwork everybody. It's a great lesson for a young man to learn.
Tirelessly on his game, improving his shooting accuracy, defensive abilities, and overall game strategy.
When he first came to us, he was one of the most confident freshmen I've ever seen.
And 2 days later, he came back and said, I want to talk to you, and said, I'm going to show you nobody will ever outwork me, and nobody ever has to this day.
Yep.
It was just always just, trying to test you. So
in that case, with the psychology of Jordan, that would be him taking that as a challenge. Like, oh, you don't believe I'm going to outwork everybody. I'll show you. And it never ended. And he's in his 50s now. And it still has never ended. He's still that guy.
That was his attitude. I knew he was going to be an all-star, but I didn't know he was going to be what he turned out to be, arguably the best that ever played the game.
My 3 years in North Carolina was very dear to me. I think that without those 3 years, I couldn't develop into the player and the person that I am today.
That's key too. Player and the person that I am.
Well, I remember recruiting Michael Jordan. I remember him coming in on a weekend, and all I could hear was this big mouth, and it was Michael Jordan. I never thought he was arrogant, but that he was full of confidence. Yeah. And I was better than Michael Jordan.
For about a week.
For about 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
I mean, he dunked on Sam Perkins at one time, and I still know how he did it.
Not the kind of shot you want in this situation. Beautiful feed. Boy, did Worthy save that There's the alley-oop to Jordan.
Oh.
Jordan tried to use a glass. He's on follow. He went up against Brian Williams.
35 years ago, Michael Jordan, New Orleans. Sometimes I remember it like it was yesterday.
His game-winning shot in the 1982 NCAA championship game against Georgetown was a sign of clutch moments to come.
1:16 left.
Georgetown went up by 1 with less than a minute left to play.
Now, a lot of people won't understand the significance of this. Like, yeah, he hit a big shot in a big game to help his team win a championship. But it's more than that. This is when he knew and all of us knew that he had the clutch gene. And there was a ton of pressure in this situation. He was not supposed to be the one to get this shot, but he delivered anyways. And then he continued doing that for his entire career. But this is the first glimpse that, like, hey, I think this dude has it.
We're down 1, 35 to 40 seconds to play.
With 32 seconds left on the clock, Dean Smith called for a timeout.
Game-winning or a losing shot, and Dean Smith asks and gets timeout.
And he said, we're exactly where we want to be. We're going to decide who wins this game.
Most coaches,
I like that mentality.
Timeout. Go ahead and change their defense just to throw the other team off stride. 32 seconds to go.
As they were walking out, Coach slapped Michael on the rear end and said, if you get it, Michael, knock it in.
That's the day that my name went from Mike Jordan.
I just wanted to look at that again real quick.
The other team off stride. 32 seconds to go.
From
As
the
they were walking
inbound.
out,
Okay.
Coach slapped Michael on the
MJ's
rear
got
end and
it.
said, if you get it,
Okay, ball down.
Michael, knock it in.
Okay. That's where I wanted to see because the defense is collapsing. This guy's got to go up on MJ, but MJ's a nobody at this point. Like, he's not supposed to get the shot. So now we got a double team collapsing right in here. Yep, got you. Just enough space.
That's the day that my name went from Mike Jordan to Michael Jordan.
Yep. You went from a boy to a man.
Before anything else happened, that shot gave me the idea that I could be better than what people think, and, surpass any expectations that I may have for myself.
At UNC, Jordan earned the Naismith College Player of the Year award in 1984 and was a part of the 1984 U.S. Olympic basketball team that won gold in Los Angeles.
Yeah, this is when him and a bunch of college players whooped, not just beat, whooped the NBA All-Stars. The best basketball players in the NBA in 1984. And yeah, this happened after the draft. Where it is after this happened, everyone was rethinking the draft because it was just like, how the hell did this guy not go number 1?
Stage for his entry into the NBA.
Here comes Carolina. Down to Jordan. Yes.
Because I didn't think he was going to be as good as he is now, to be honest. I really didn't think that.
Yeah, most people didn't. Bobby Knight did, though, the coach of the Olympic team that year. He said while the Olympics were on, this Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen. And then he explained it. And that was him coming out of college. Bobby Knight, he knew it. He knew it.
The Chicago Bulls in 1984.
The Chicago Bulls picked Michael Jordan, the University of North Carolina.
In 1984, a young Michael Jordan, fresh out of the University of North Carolina, was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. His talent on the court was undeniable, and his potential was sky high. At the same time, Nike, a rising company known for its running shoes, was eager to make a mark in the basketball world.
This is why the people at Nike, especially Sonny Vaccaro, pushed to sign Jordan to a deal.
Where I first saw Michael was when they beat Georgetown. And
That's
the
first time you ever saw him?
That's the first time.
Nike co-founder Phil Knight and marketing executive Sonny Vaccaro saw an opportunity in Jordan. They offered him an unprecedented 5-year deal worth $500,000 annually, plus royalties. Nike promised Jordan creative control over his own line of shoes, a bold move that convinced him to join forces with them.
What Michael Jordan did, he started the whole new world for athletes.
Well, what we know, for those of you who have seen, what is the movie called? Air? The Jordan movie about literally the shoes, about Air Jordans. It was the percentage deal. Excuse me. So he got a percentage of income or of profits. And that was set up by his mom, which I thought was really cool. Smartest move they ever made. Because if he was just making a couple $1 million a year off of selling that brand, he wouldn't be a billionaire like he is. But getting a percentage of all those sales, yeah.
I was not meant to fly. Air Jordan.
Michael Jordan, to the world, should be remembered as starting an industry that was not there. There's no question about the superiority of what Nike. Michael Jordan did that.
Standing ovation for Michael Jordan from North Carolina, the number 3 pick in the NBA draft.
Expectations were high for Jordan, and he didn't disappoint.
Nope.
From the get-go, Jordan's impact on the court was undeniable.
Yeah, we got to see that first game. That first game in. From day one, he wasn't disappointing.
Here's the man. They call him Mr. Jordan in Chicago.
He brought an electrifying mix of athleticism, skill, and competitive intensity that the Bulls and, frankly, the entire NBA hadn't seen before.
He puts it in on an amazing move.
When he was at practice, he played practice like it was the last thing on earth. He's a type of player that when he goes into practice, he gives it his all, he works hard, and the games become easy for him.
His rookie season was a showcase of his incredible talent, as he quickly became the team's leading scorer, averaging an impressive 28.2 points per game.
This guy. I just got to bring it up because that quote kind of triggered it. When he talks about playing in practice as hard as he plays in a game. When I was running a restaurant, we had the same mentality, which was just because it's slow, don't make it slow. You know what I mean? Like, just because we're not busy, don't make it slow. Make it like we're busy. So then when we are busy, you can handle this plus a whole bunch more. You know, that was always the mindset. So it was like, this is the time to work on your speed. You know, don't take advantage of the fact that there's not too many orders. Like, go fast now. And then you won't feel that pressure when it's a Friday night dinner rush. You won't be pissing your pants. You know, you'll feel prepared for this. That's the Jordan mentality. It's weird because, yeah, it's an athlete mentality, but it can trickle down into your work ethic, too, if you figure out little creative ways to do it.
It's tough. It's tough.
2. Jordan's contract is with the Chicago Bulls. Since he arrived, the stadium, which used to be 2/3 empty, has been sold out every game.
Yep.
The difference right now is Jordan brings it up.
He should have got a percentage of ticket sales, too. He deserved it.
When I play basketball, I play 110%. And a lot of things is done instinctively.
Jordan's performances were a breath of fresh air for the Chicago Bulls, a team that had been struggling for relevance in the years prior to his arrival. One of the defining moments of his rookie season came during the All-Star weekend.
Here's Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls, one of the hot candidates for Rookie of the Year honors as he slams it home.
Where he participated in the slam dunk contest. Though he didn't win, his iconic free throw line dunk left fans and fellow players in awe, cementing his status as a must-watch player.
Here's Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls.
I love this jersey, by the way. The throwback, the curse of Chicago. I loved that jersey.
Here we go.
A shot that would be famously known as the Jordan Vault. After winning Rookie of the Year,
First award honors the new kid on the block, the NBA Rookie of the Year, from the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan.
his early years in the NBA were marked by breathtaking performances, including scoring 63 points against the Boston Celtics in the playoffs.
And once, when an injury forced him to sit out 64 games,
last year's Rookie of the Year, Michael Jordan, out with a broken left foot.
He came back and scored 63 points, and that while playing against the best team in the league.
We're playing the Boston Celtics, Pat, but I think it's going to be more of a five-man game.
Didn't he score like, was it 45 or something like that the next game, following the 63?
Came in, was different because he was a scorer. He had a scoring mentality. And as he got better, they started getting better players around him. But I go, man, can this kid play? They keep talking about how good he is.
I don't think one man can beat the Boston Celtics.
Well, Jordan would give it a shot.
Air Jordan's getting ready to take off.
He'd want the ball more than anything else. Everyone else would want him to have the ball.
He scored. And scored.
You could tell in 1986 that he was going to be an unbelievable player, the best player in the league, potentially going forward.
And scored.
Jordan banks it in, and Jordan with 40 points.
Everything was going. He was making one shot better than the next.
He can tie it
Just
up.
for you basketball fans, banking it straight ahead like this is...
And scored.
Jordan.
This is not your usual shot, man. It's just so smooth. Like, most people don't do a head-on bank.
And Jordan with 40 points.
Everything was going. He was making one shot better than the next.
He can tie it up here and send the game in overtime.
He ended the night on 63 points.
Bang.
Overtime. Jordan ties the game. Oh, boy. 63 points, and you're looking at an all-time record.
The legendary Larry Bird said this about Jordan after the game.
That's not Michael Jordan. That's God disguised as Michael Jordan.
It's a great compliment because, I feel that he's probably one of the best in the game of basketball.
However, success didn't come easy. In the late 1980s, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls faced their toughest challenge. The Detroit Pistons, known as the Bad Boys for their rough play.
The scoring column still missing, and Pippen runs it down with a Lambeer, and they're going to call the foul on him. Lambeer and Daly.
This rivalry was intense, with the Pistons employing Jordan rules to aggressively...
Good Lord.
This rivalry was intense, with the...
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is fine. But look at this. And people act like we exaggerate when we're talking about how brutal the Pistons were and how the rules needed to change, or else people are gonna die out there.
Pistons employing Jordan rules to aggressively target Jordan and stop him at any cost.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I get a phone call, and it's Isaiah. And he says, I've finally figured out what we need to do to stop Jordan.
Despite Jordan's incredible talent, the Bulls fell to the Pistons in the playoffs for 3 straight years.
We were in total despair. They had done it to us again. They had beaten us.
Fueling a burning desire in Jordan to overcome this obstacle.
Very deserving championship team. Congratulations to you, the Pistons, and the city of Detroit.
The turning point came in the 1990 to 1991 season.
Goes to the middle. Great pass.
Good Lord. He's got him in a headlock.
The new top dog in the NBA East. It's Michael Jordan and the Bulls as they move ahead of Boston.
After years of physical and mental preparation, the Bulls were ready.
Bank.
Michael Jordan.
In the earlier seasons, Jordan and the Bulls would break down against the Pistons.
Yeah, they psychologically broke down. So this time, they did their best not to react at all. Like, react on the floor, yes, like as far as play basketball, but don't react like if they hurt you physically, don't get angry and show them that you're angry. Don't shout, don't get a technical, don't get at them. Just go beat them in the basketball court. And that's why, because they stayed focused finally.
You would break down mentally and become individuals, which is the way they want you to be.
But this year was different.
As a unit, when everybody's contributing, we were very strong and we were able to overpower them.
We were tremendously excited because we felt we had gotten 2 young athletes, 2 guys who could run and jump and were quick and had all the athletic skills we wanted.
As the Bulls entered the playoffs against the Pistons, they had something to prove.
We had to prove on the court what we had the year before, that we could play under pressure.
And that was early. Here's Jordan in the race with Thomas.
Phil's idea was to take advantage of Michael and Pippen, who just fly around like sleek Dobermans.
He is splitting every trap, every help situation.
Nice fake by Jordan. Goes to the scoop. Jordan rebounds. He has Pippen. And Armstrong in the backcourt. Grant up front with Williams and Pippen.
Ooh, nice feed, nice feed.
And was able to find Grant. And Pippen able to feed it off to Jordan.
After getting beat 4-0, in 4 games, the Pistons had had enough.
As time runs down, they left the bench, although there's 7 and 9/10 seconds remaining. The Pistons just left.
Michael, for the last 3 years, it has been Detroit that has gone on.
I think for the city of Chicago and for the organization, this is a big step for us, and we can only go and move up. Right now, we're looking forward to the finals and trying to do our best.
Paving the way for their first NBA championship.
Yep. I love it. This is kind of like The Last Dance, but condensed.
Defeating the Pistons was a pivotal moment for Jordan and the Bulls. It marked the end of the Pistons' dominance and the beginning of the Bulls'
Yeah.
This victory wasn't just about advancing to the NBA Finals. It symbolized Jordan's growth as a player and the Bulls' emergence as a dynasty. The hard-fought battles with the Pistons taught Jordan and the Bulls the value of perseverance, setting the stage for their legendary run through the 1990s.
The Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
Sorry, now that I'm thinking about it, who won all in the West from 89 on? We've got Houston. We've got San Antonio. Then we got Lakers. And San Antonio, right? Interesting. So like 6 teams dominated the league from like 89 to 2004.
I used to ask him, what's it like to guard Mike?
Oh, Kobe.
You mean Black Jesus? So the level of fear that he inspired in others was insane.
His ability to take over games, his ability to want to have that last shot.
Yes, and it counts.
What's that, Scotty? I thought Michael Jordan's game was trash. I thought he plays like trash. He's a terrible player.
And demoralize you.
Yes.
And scare the living hell out of you.
I believe that every night he stepped on the floor, he put on the cape.
Oh, what a skip by Jordan.
Michael Jordan is the best player ever.
Charles Barkley is a great, great player. But Michael Jordan is in a class by himself, clearly superior to anybody else in the league.
Yeah, that's Bob Costas. The Jordan's game.
Last year was it was a honeymoon. It was a kiss of the beloved almost.
This is the 104th game of the year for the Bulls, including the playoffs and regular season. That's a long, long haul, and it could all end here this afternoon.
Michael Jordan and the Bulls had made it to the NBA championship once again.
For your world champion, Chicago Bulls!
This year's has been an odyssey. It's been a journey filled with travail and pitfalls, and it's been tough. It's been a real hard road.
To become only the 4th NBA franchise to win back-to-back titles. And as the game began, it quickly became clear that once again, Chicago would be traveling on treacherous terrain.
On the steal, and now the slam dunk by Kersey. There's a steal by Jerome. Mercy, he's been everywhere.
The Bulls were struggling to find a rhythm.
Chicago has to really be careful, Joe, that they don't dig too big a hole here.
Blazers with their biggest lead of the night.
But Michael Jordan once again showed why he later would be regarded as the greatest of all time.
Jordan, when he gets in the air, he now has 3 defenders occupied. It's just a matter of picking out the right man. That time it was Grant.
Nice use of the glass. Nice sound effects. Sounds like a whip. Dude, I wish when I jumped there was a sound effect like that. And then every time I made a basket, Well, that one's real, but not quite that. It doesn't have this kind of bass to it.
The Bulls were on the verge of completing one of the greatest comebacks in finals history.
You don't know what it's like to have these headphones on right now. It's too funny.
Superman's back in the building! Superman is back in the building! Shot clock at 3.
You didn't even get a stop.
Here's Jordan.
By completing one of the most heroic comebacks in NBA history.
The Chicago Bulls have won the NBA championship for the second straight season.
The following season, Michael Jordan and the Bulls would do it all over again.
Yep, against my Suns. Oh, I remember that. It wasn't quite the shot on Elo good, but it was awesome to see him just ISO in the post and do it again. Sorry, Cleveland.
The first three-peat, that Michael Jordan. People say, who's the greatest player of all time? It's that Michael Jordan. No one has come close.
The third title, the three-peat. He had a game, it was like a 3-game stretch. Had 42, 44, then dropped 55 in game 5.
Yeah, that's why he retired. That's part of the reason he retired. There's a lot else that went into it personally for him, but he already did it. Okay? Nobody else had a three-peated that he was competing against. Bird didn't do it. Magic didn't do it. Isaiah didn't do it. So in his mind, I already proved it. I'm the greatest, and it's time to walk away. So we already had him as the GOAT back then. Then he came back and won 3 more.
Jordan from long range. That's a 3. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Here is Jordan.
The sounds, man. Sounds like he's metal.
Stars and none shine brighter than Michael Jordan.
With 10 seconds left, the Bulls were behind by 2 points.
He trusts his teammate to make the shot.
And the headline in my newspaper that next morning, which I still have today, is three-peat. So sweet, 4 Bulls. And that's my dog barking in the background. Come on. Come on.
The Bulls had won their 3rd consecutive championship. But not everything in Jordan's life went according to plan. Earlier in the season, during the Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks, Michael was spotted in Atlantic City gambling.
And of course, that much talked about visit to an Atlantic City casino by Michael Jordan on Thursday.
It's unfortunate that it's become an issue, and he's got to explain it away, but I don't think there was anything wrong with it.
It's attacked in my private life, and I really didn't like it, and I don't agree with it.
He did not want to discuss his Atlantic City sojourn.
He's going to take care of himself, and if he was out that night or not, whatever, he still came to play, and that's all that we're concerned about.
But I felt a need to come out and express that and tell the truth so you guys can quit hallucinating.
That's his business, and it shouldn't be publicized. Something like this
that's John Starks, that's Doc
Rivers. I think it hurts his reputation, especially with kids, and that's too bad.
In the summer after completing the three-peat, something would happen that would forever change Jordan's life.
James Jordan, the father of basketball superstar Michael Jordan.
Mr. Jordan had pulled off the side of the road to rest for a while. He was shot to death while in his car.
2 18-year-olds.
Yeah, to those of you calling Michael Jordan a quitter for retiring at this point, like, I hope you know this is what really went down.
Accused of murdering the father of basketball star Michael Jordan appeared in court.
I think that I looked at the death of my father. Unfortunately, it happened at the hands of another human being.
Investigators said they had concrete evidence linking Daniel Green and Larry Demery to the murder of James Jordan.
But I had him for 32 years, and he taught me a lot in 32 years.
Word is Michael is planning a press conference Saturday morning at 8 a.m., the first time he will directly address the public since the murder of his father.
It was a lot of times where I didn't know if I was going to make it here. Basketball, I haven't even thought about basketball. I didn't even think about basketball before all this happened.
Very few, in today's society, get the chance to spend that much time with their parents and get that type of influence.
Michael Jordan's father was also the reason MJ stuck his tongue out when playing basketball.
Yep.
When Michael was a kid, he had observed his dad do it when he was engaged in projects.
As far as I can remember, it originated from my granddad. And if I'm working on my car, something around the house, I find myself bored.
Yeah, that's when he's focusing.
After playing 9 seasons in the league, a 30-year-old Michael Jordan had decided to step away from basketball.
I'm very solid with my decision of not to play the game of basketball in the NBA. When I lose the sense of motivation and the sense of to prove something as a basketball player, it's time for me to move away from the game of basketball.
Michael Jordan decided to pursue a career in baseball, which was a surprise for many fans.
I'm still glad he did this. I got a couple of his cards on my shelf here in a baseball uniform. It's cool.
The star of the day, the world's greatest basketball player, trying to make it in a major league.
He only
Look at that
managed
guy.
to
Carried his own bags.
play one official major league game, but played a total of 127 games in minor league baseball for the Birmingham Barons.
And the White Sox gave me an opportunity just to go out there and see what type of skills I had.
On the day of Michael's major league debut, the crowd was electric.
There was a buzz like something special. Everybody wanted to see if Michael Jordan could make the switch from NBA superstar to a big league baseball player.
The crowd even booed another White Sox player for not letting Jordan catch the ball.
I've never seen a second baseman get booed for not letting the right fielder catch the ball before.
On March 18th, 1995, 2 years after his initial retirement from basketball, Michael Jordan was back.
Michael Jordan was pegged for the Chicago White Sox AA club, but he refused to challenge the baseball union, and Jordan left camp last week.
We knew he was coming back. Now we know when, and the news is music to the ears of Bulls fans.
Jordan, the former 3-time MVP, has been practicing for the last couple of days with his old Bulls club.
It's crazy. If MJ didn't have the crazy amount of integrity that he does for competition, he would have taken full advantage and got bumped up to the pros right there. And then all he has to do is prove that he's worth it. Or if he's a sellout, then just not be worth it, but be financially worth it because they're making the organization money. Point is, I think Jordan could have not only been a pro temporarily at this point, but then he would have stayed a pro and he would have played Major League Baseball. But he didn't want to become a pro without earning it. So here he goes, and he's back to playing basketball. But in an alternate timeline, sometimes I wonder, what kind of a baseball player would he have become?
Announced his comeback in a 2-word press release.
It came in a 2-word statement, which is now just begging to have a Nike campaign built around it. Quote unquote,
yeah.
I'm back.
Michael summed up his decision to return in 2 words, I'm back.
Would you like to see him come back?
Yes, I would. I think that he would be a good addition to this game.
In his comeback season, the Bulls had only managed a record of 34 wins and 31 losses.
For 21 months, the NBA was without its supreme artist. The best in the world is back. Today, an artist returns to his true canvas, the hardboard courts of the NBA. Michael Jordan is back.
What a way to put it. An artist returns to his canvas.
With Jordan back in the lineup, they went 13-4 in their last 17 games, leaving them with 47 wins and 34 losses for the season, which put them 5th in the Eastern Conference.
Number 45, Michael Jordan. Still looking for his first field goal.
I remember that. We were all expecting him to dunk this. And then this was, because this was his first game back, this is when we realized, okay, he doesn't have those legs yet. But yeah, watch this. We've all seen it 1,000 times. Outside of this, like, he's coming in full speed. He's coming in. Sorry, guys. I don't know why this is so important to me. Okay, but he's coming in full speed. You think he's going to just dunk it, throw it down one-handed. But the legs. Yeah, he didn't elevate much. He had to tweak his whole body and kind of like aim his butt down in order to get some extra, like an extra half a second in the air, you know, right there. But still nailed it, man. So we knew he's still here. He just has no legs, and he looked way too skinny.
In his first season back, He famously changed his number back to number 23 in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Felt like 45 wasn't natural. I wanted to go back to the feeling I had with 23.
You were just pissed off at Nick Anderson.
Tonight, and despite the prohibition of wearing number 23 by the NBA, Michael is wearing it anyway.
I didn't have enough time to get my body back to a basketball body.
Michael has not been able to sustain the effort over the course of a game.
Does Jordan have the legs to last throughout the playoffs?
No, he didn't.
You're looking at an exhausted Michael Jordan. Tough shot by Michael. Air ball.
Good defense. I think it was
blocked. Of course, the biggest offseason news for the Chicago Bulls, besides the lockout, was the free agent acquisition of power forward Dennis Rodman. Good move, bad move? What's your take on it?
I would say it's a gutsy move.
Going into the 1995 to 96 season, the Bulls had signed controversial Dennis Rodman.
Pushes Stacy. Stacy pushes back. Now, what are they going to call? Double foul? Probably, yeah.
Look at this.
Oh,
Look at this.
Stacy went at him.
One year before, they were teammates.
Rodman would turn out to become an instrumental player for the Bulls' second three-peat.
That was one of Michael's lowest points, is when they came back and they didn't win.
Just like he got cut from the high school team, he needed this. He needed to get humbled again.
Missed that power forward, that rebounder, that defensive presence with the loss of Horace Grant.
All the offseason moves in the NBA, none got more attention. Trade of Dennis Rodman to the Chicago Bulls.
The Bulls team was looking much better than the previous season, with Jordan back in shape, an informed Stephen Kerr, a prime Scottie Pippen, and newly signed Dennis Rodman. They felt they had a good chance to go all the way.
Having Michael back, we felt like that, this was going to be our opportunity to go for it again.
Not too late, bring it in. Dennis gives it to Mike. A 10 and a poster play for Michael. Team defense, Howard.
Flying right back to put it down. Season game this year between Indiana and Chicago, the last regular season game for the Bulls.
Game 3.
Jordan, he was surrounded. Jordan. Well, Michael's feeling better.
The Bulls had an amazing regular season, winning a record-breaking 72 games out of 82
John Starks had
possible.
30 points in this game.
The trio of Chicago had found each other, and together they became unstoppable.
Pippen going glass. Scottie Pippen out of 1 minute to go. First half. Got the
But what's
What a
unique about
block.
this team is that in years past, teams generally have had to take some time to gel as a group.
To the floor.
And this year you've added Michael back to the mix, Dennis Rodman as a starter, and they came together so quickly.
Jordan from 3 to tie it. From 3 to tie it. He does.
Everybody realized that this guy was back in his full force as, the most dominant player in the game.
The Bulls had once again made it to the NBA Finals.
It's funny. Back then, we just expected it. We were kind of sad that he couldn't jump as high as he used to, but we expected him to just come back and crush it. So that first quarter season back, 94, 95, we didn't have very high expectations. We were just excited to see him play. Then it was expected that they win a championship or bust, which was nuts because they probably weren't even going to make the playoffs that year if MJ didn't come back. But yeah, that following year, we all just kind of figured he'd figure it out. He'll be back. He wasn't out of the game for that long. He can do this. And he came back honestly kind of better in a weird way. He was just better, smarter, smoother, fundamentally sound, and just calmer, much more calm.
Back on top. And to do it in a fashion that you alleviate all the questions that people had about your skills and your leadership qualities, and to, more or less just say, hey, we're back.
Approximately 3 years after Jordan's father was shot and killed, Michael Jordan would get a chance to secure his 4th NBA title on Father's Day.
NBA on NBC. The 1996.
Just in case they flag me, I'm just going to pause it for a second. And
NBA Finals.
God, I love that theme song, though.
Much livelier than we saw in games 1 and 2 here in Chicago. Dennis Rodman very quiet in Game 5 in Seattle. Michael Jordan. Oh, he knew on the release.
The Bulls had won the first 3 games of the 1996 NBA Finals series, and with the Supersonics winning the following 2, the series had got into the 6th game.
Scottie Pippen continues to play perfect basketball. And the people in Chicago are ecstatic. Pippen leading the 3-on-2 as they spread the floor. Pippen
what a layup. Reverse one-hander.
Receiving an ovation.
Getting hacked on the forearm. 9 points, 18 rebounds, 11 of those being offensive rebounds. Job well done.
With 18 rebounds.
The Chicago Bulls was looking to once again become champions of the NBA.
The Michael Jordan comeback will be completed.
With Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman leading the team to victory.
Here is Jordan kicking it out. Pippen. The Chicago Bulls have won the 95-96 NBA championship. An emotional moment for Michael Jordan.
I don't know about you guys, but I grew up, I remember this clip, seen it 1,000 times. But it wasn't until The Last Dance where we had the audio of this clip. And man, that hit me. That hit hard, hearing him like just weeping with that ball. Anybody who doubts what his dad meant to him, like, come on, man. If you're not trolling, you should know. You should know by this.
An emotional moment for Michael Jordan.
I know that the first one was sweet, but how much sweeter was this one?
Well, I can't even put it in words. My father did what it means to me. I know he's watching.
The following 2 seasons saw the Chicago Bulls dominate the league as they had just done in 1996.
The motivation was to show people that the first time wasn't a fluke, that we were going to be on top for a long period of time, and this is the way.
Yep, it was just going to get harder and harder.
To do it twice.
All right, here's Jordan. Across the midcourt line. Michael Jordan from midcourt. Down, Jordan with Ewing back. Jordan around Ewing.
Great outlet from Rodman to Kukoc. Here is Michael.
Those black jerseys were sick, by the way.
The fans came to see.
Michael was capable of incorporating Scotty's abilities.
Everything has been special because we've tried to take it to a higher level.
And, telling him sometimes you got to help me out, and some nights I'm not going to have it. I'll help you out if you don't have it, and we'll tag team this thing together.
To become the greatest duo to ever play the game.
Goes to, they do it defensively.
Yep, they were the greatest duo.
The takeoff and the crush. Jordan to win.
Michael Jordan being Michael Jordan. Jordan putting moves on Russell. We're down to 2. Now 1. Here's
Good defense too, man. Sorry, Russell. Jordan just seems to do that to you, just like your name was Craig. You're the next Craig Elo. That's basically what it is. You're the next Craig Elo, man. Sorry.
Jordan and the Bulls had for the second time made it to the NBA Finals 2 seasons in a row. In the lead up to Game 5 of the Finals series, something happened that potentially could lose the game for the Bulls.
For Game 5, I'm up at Marriott, 10:30 at night. I'm hungry.
And that night, only one pizza place was open.
You find one pizza place open. One. 5 guys delivering one pizza.
And then, without thinking twice,
I eat the pizza all by myself. Nobody else eats.
I put this pizza down, and I said, I got a bad feeling about this.
I wake up about 2:30, throwing up left and right.
Now, the big story here tonight concerning Michael Jordan's physical conditions. He is
Yeah, this was a
suffering
must-win, by the way, too.
from flu-like symptoms.
because of Jordan's illness, the Jazz was suddenly the favorites. But Jordan being Jordan, he wanted to play the game.
Jordan to the crossover, way off, visibly shaken by the flu symptoms. And Jordan trying to slip it, and then took it back and hit. So Michael Jordan.
The Bulls were trailing behind from the beginning of the game.
The defense is that. You double team and then both guys back on Scotty. Emphatic dunk.
Michael Jordan coming out, resting the last couple of minutes of that first quarter. Just a little right to left move to easily shake.
Jordan puts moves on Hornacek. Look at Michael Jordan. You see the ice bag being applied to the back of the neck of Michael, who has been exhausted.
Yeah, he was falling apart in the third quarter. I do remember this game. I've watched it a couple of times, but over the last couple of years too. It's insane. It's insane. I can't believe he made it to the finish line, and he had to carry the team on his back. It's insane.
You know, no matter how sick I was, or how tired I was, or how, low on energy I was, I felt the obligation, to my team, to the city of Chicago, to go out and give that extra effort.
Right from the start. Fires for yes. And he's tied the game at 77.
For no reason, they double team Scotty down low and leaving Michael Jordan. He knocks down this three, gives him the huge lead.
He's turning himself into a spot-up shooter to conserve energy, like players do nowadays. But he's doing this while he's sick out of his brain. So this is the only time you see him not attacking all the time. He was like, okay, I can shoot. Let me just rely on my fundamentals.
Chicago went up by 3 points, with only 6 seconds left to play.
As they open the floor, only able to put it home for Curry, Kukoc, 3-point Chicago lead.
And the Jazz weren't able to come back.
And the Chicago Bulls have defeated the Utah Jazz.
Jordan still hadn't fully recovered from his illness, but still took the lead in Game 6.
The 1997 NBA Finals. It's Game 6, the Utah Jazz versus the Chicago Bulls.
The Bulls had a 3-2 lead. If they win Game 6, they are champions once again.
Now Jordan trying to go to work on Russell, and he got it. Way off.
Watch your face.
And Scottie Pippen. Jazz looking to tie the series, which would set up a 7th and final game here at the United Center on Sunday night. Pippen, yes. Well, the Chicago Bulls are hoping to wrap it up here tonight, and Michael Jordan cuts it to a 5-point Utah lead. Finishes with the fadeaway.
Looking to help out on Jordan or Pippen.
Oh, Jordan scooped it up on the steal. Pippen for 3. Yes.
The Bulls was behind with 9 points early in the fourth quarter, but they had worked their way back, only trailing by 2 points.
Yeah, this was a hell of a series. Both years, 97 and 98. Like, one hell of a series. Utah was so consistent. They just wouldn't go away.
The Bulls lead by 3. Scottie Pippen looking for Michael Jordan. Checks the clock. 5 on the 24. Here's Jordan. Did not have the shot.
Yes, sir.
5 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining in regulation. The inbound.
Defense wins championships.
Have won their 5th championship in the last.
Yep. And this one's even harder.
As the 96-97 season went to a close, the future of the Chicago Bulls was uncertain.
Yeah.
Many players on the roster were past their prime, and there were speculations that whether or not this was the time for the franchise
As
to rebuild.
pointed out in the comments recently, someone very wise down there said it very clear. and the Bulls are still rebuilding now in 2024. So what was the rush? You know, you wanted to do it in 97, then you needed to do it in 98 enough to blow up the team. Insane. What was your rush? You were winning championships. Now it's 26 years later and you're still freaking on the same rebuild. It's never quite really happened. Unbelievable.
We're entitled to defend what we have until we lose it.
You should be.
The Chicago Bulls entered the season as the reigning champions with 5 titles in the previous 7 years.
Championship in the last 7 years.
Yet, storm clouds loomed over the team. Scottie Pippen, frustrated over his contract, delayed his surgery and missed the early part of the season.
Yep.
Meanwhile, coach Phil Jackson was informed by management that it would be his last season with the Bulls, creating an air of uncertainty.
Yeah, the official line was, even if you go 82-0, this is your last year here.
At 35, Jordan was not just a global icon, but also the epitome of a competitor. Leading the league in scoring with an average of 28.7 points per game, Jordan's leadership and relentless drive were the heartbeats of the Bulls. The playoffs began with the Bulls dominating the New Jersey Nets and defeating the Charlotte Hornets.
Working against Kittles. Gets Kittles in the air, and Jordan hits. And the Chicago Bulls are the only team to sweep a first-round series. Now Mason is on Michael Jordan. The fall away by Jordan, and he hits. The Bulls did what they set out to do. Knock out the Charlotte Hornets and not having go back to Charlotte.
However, the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers proved to be a grueling battle. The series went to a decisive Game 7, where Jordan's 28 points and the Bulls' staunch defense secured their passage to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, this was a great team.
Tipped out to Pippen. Kerr can tie it. And does. 5 on the shot clock. Michael dumps it off to an open Longley. And the Bulls have a little bit of breathing room. McKee for 3. It's long.
Yo, any of you old folk here, does this not look like old school, like America Online, like the original videos you ever saw? Like, you ever see like some NBA videos from 1998 on the internet? This is what it looked like. This some pristine quality here.
And Michael is there, as he so often is. The Bulls will survive the Pacers. And on to the finals. For the 6th time
Crazy.
in 8 years, go the Chicago Bulls.
In the finals, the Bulls faced the Utah Jazz, led by Karl Malone and
They
John
were even
Stockton.
better.
The series was a fierce contest of wills, with each game hanging in the
This is
balance.
how crazy it is. The Utah Jazz came back even better, and the Bulls became weaker due to injuries and Dennis Rodman going, flying off the radar. But yeah, and they still freaking won. Like Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan had to step it up. Like, I felt bad for him during this series because I've gone back and watched these games multiple times, and watching what he had to do for his team to win, man, it is not fair out there.
Defining moment came in Game 6 in Utah. With the Bulls trailing by 3 points in the final minute, Jordan scored quickly to cut the lead.
Brings them to within 1.
Then, in a legendary defensive play, he stole the ball.
We're going right to Game 6, huh?
They swat at it and steal it.
Dribbling down the court, Jordan executed a perfect crossover.
Or from championship number 6.
Ryan Russell.
Open. Chicago with the lead. Harper's on it. Behind the screen. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off.
That's what I mean. They don't go away. They almost made that shot.
The Chicago Bulls
have won their first ever for the 2nd straight season. 3 straight. The 95, 96
have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their 2nd three-peat.
So cool. So cool. All right, that was fun. That was something. So Sport X is the channel. I might have to check out some of their other stuff. That was a cool Jordan documentary. I mean, it covered everything from his childhood all the way to the end of his It didn't cover the Wizard years. Son of a bitch. So it covered, for whatever reason, everything from his childhood all the way to the end of his Bulls career. But still, really cool. Really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's been a long one. I don't really have much to say at the end here. Except for, yeah, I never get sick of watching this stuff about Jordan. Final question. If any of you actually made it this far, do you think this was an AI video? Was this an artificially intelligence created video? I think it might be. Anyways, let me know, you guys. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you all soon. And I appreciate you guys. I really do. All right. Thank you. Good night, everybody.